Hello, Twitch. Welcome in, everyone. Actually, here tonight, extra Thursday stream because didn't stream yesterday. Oh. So, coffee. Doing ingredient challenge tonight. using beans tonight. But I'm also going to try and keep things in the weekly vegan theme. I have a feeling not all ingredients will match up with all themes, but I think I can do beans and veggies together. What happened? My screen disappeared. Okay. You're all plugged in. Well, it looks like my camera decided to take a break. Welcome in, Clipper. How you doing tonight? Let's see if this thing's booting back up. There we go. Yeah, it's got next to no power at the moment, so we'll give that a moment to charge a little bit. We'll make some coffee. Oh, did you get bumped out of way? Out of whack. Happy to have you in here. Hopefully you're having a lovely week. Your Wednesday went better than mine, and you're not doing your Wednesday work on Thursday. Howdy, Bun Buns. Welcome in. So I finally got my shopping done for today. And so we have a stream. 80%. 80% is certainly better than no percent better. Trying out new coffee beans. Not necessarily by choice. I hadn't gone and bought out my normal coffee. I ran out. And I lived with what was available at the store. So we're trying out something a little different. Taking a break here towards the end of this month and going traveling and seeing family. And I was planning on bringing coffee with me. But now I don't know if I'm going to be able to have the coffee that I like anyway, so we'll see. Hmm. I'm not sure how that word got into the list. Which is sort of a hilarious statement, because as I've said several times before, I wrote this dictionary that this thing's running off of. Hi there. Got the camera back. Although my waving there just got it to stop tracking me again. Let's fix that. I still have half and half. I was tempted. I bought almond milk for tonight, but I'm still going to use the real stuff for my coffee tonight. Happy Wednesday, folks. Cheers. If you give me just a moment here, folks, I'm going to go check out some things and correct them. Leaving my bathroom door open. But I need to go back here and pull up some things. And that's over here. Let's see if that's moved over here. That house. So that's one thing. One more. Need one more thing. Okay. Now we got everything, hopefully. Other than the camera. Over here, cat. Okay. Awesome. Nice, Bun Buns. Work, 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 work. Sleep. Work. Seems like it's all you guys do. Got all sorts of people helping out in Stream Raiders tonight. Got a nice start to the night. What are we going to start with as far as cooking tonight? I think I'm going to start with bread. I have another strainer in here. No. Come on. Break off. There we go. Yes, Kata. This is going to start off almost like I'm making hummus here. Boo, meetings. That was a bunch of salt. So I'm going to mute my mic and give this a good blend. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I just realized I did that without muting. Hopefully that wasn't too ridiculous on the ears. There we go. So now we got a nice, smooth puree. We'll get our yeast started. since I have it, we're going to have some almond milk in here. We'll use the rest. Hot water. We got about a half cup of liquid there. Hopefully somewhat warm from the let's use baking flour. So aside from our chickpeas or garbanzo beans and our liquid there, that is all of our, or rather, other than what's in our garbanzo beans, this is all of our liquid for our bread. Now this is not what, I did some searching online and I found that there's actually a traditional method of doing garbanzo beans into bread that's very common. And I had no clue about that starting into this tonight, so I didn't plan for that. But that would require another day here. Doesn't sound too ridiculously difficult. But the natural version, they blend the chickpeas up like I have here, and then allow natural yeasts, local yeasts, to do their job on that overnight, rather than us introducing specifically this yeast and all that stuff. We got a battle ready. I'll get the flour in the bowl here. And then we'll do our battle. All right, to war. To battle. And Mama Bear just going out there and being ruthless. Getting those kills for us. Pursuing, helping out with the assists. Rewards to the viewers. One Buns and Div Wilson getting the rewards. Congrats. I think I'm just going to put a flag bearer here in the center and sort of limit ourselves to the center. Whichever way you want to go. You want some pho? Give that yeast a good mix up. I'm going to combine in all of our flour with our chickpea. We'll see where we are if I need to add more flour in here. I think we're going to be pretty close though. Give that a moment still to wake back up. Meantime, I'm going to give the blender a good rinse out because I need to use that again for the black beans. Bubble yeast, wake up. Anyone wondering what's in the bag? We've got some mushrooms for tonight's. Most of the veggies are going towards tonight's skillet. I'm going to use both sun-dried and fresh heirloom tomato. I'm going to be using mushrooms, red onion, and give that all a nice saute up, and then mix in a bunch of butter beans, which bring it all together. And then we'll serve that with our bread that we're making here. You know, crispy bread along with, oh. If you're going the non-vegan route, you can throw in some chicken in there. But we're going vegan route tonight. Even though it's ingredient challenge night, we're still sticking with the vegan theme. Wake up, beans. Or wake up yeast. Wake up beans too. But the thing that people never clean in commercial kitchens, but it's always the first thing. Well, actually, I don't know if it's both. People never clean it, and it's always the first thing the health department goes after. But at the same time, I don't know that it's necessarily that big of a contributor to health problems, or if it's just an easy one for the health department to get. But businesses never clean their can openers. It's like, I've heard it in 2 or 3 places and in school. You know, health departments here, throw the can washer in the dishwasher. We'll let those continue to drain. Getting a little bubble action. Wakey, wakey, yeasties. Wakey, wakey. Oh, we have more foamage there than I thought. Alright, so that's still a bit wetter than I want it to be. We gotta be close ratio-wise, though, so... Gonna flour the board pretty heavily to knead this. Hey, car guy. How you been? Black bean brownies sound good. Congrats. Probably cuts down on the fat, adds a little protein, or at least partial proteins. Yeah, but yogurt's dairy, so that's a little like substituting fats more than. Applesauce is a tried and true method there for substituting for oil and certain things. Need a little more kneading than this. It's still sticking a little too much. Right on the edge. I think it's mostly my hand is sticky and less that the dough is. I think I'm going to live with that. Actually, let's oil this up a little bit. Give this a quick spritz with olive oil. We'll let that rest. Improve. Okay. Into making our mousse. Just got a half cup of almond milk. Oil. Actually, let me check what the oil is doing. Is it mixed in, or do we use this to... Nope, we're using it in the blend. Not by hand tonight, but yes, quite a bit of whipping. Machine's gonna do it. New product in the house, in the pantry. Not a new machine, but a new item to our pantry. Hazelnut extract. That was a bit much and poured rather poorly. I wish I had poured that into like a measure. My hand's gonna smell like hazelnut for a week. And then maple syrup. All right, what else am I missing here? I think that is it. So we're gonna take, minus the liquid left in there from rinsing it out, our beans. Minus the aquafaba from beans. We'll add our liquids. Actually, let's just let that sit. Then over here, I should have some cocoa left in this house. I hope I have cocoa left in this house. Oh, I do. It's just not where I used to keep it. Sort of want to, it would throw the ratio way off. Sort of tempted to add a little coffee to this mixture though. I think coffee in here would be an amazing addition. But we're going to take this lovely combination of nut juice, beans, and cocoa and give it a blend. But I'm going to have to mute it for blending it. So, I'll be right back. I'm going to give that a scrape down. Make sure everything's combined. I don't know if you're looking there on that stove, but that dough is rather rapidly rising. That yeast seems to be rather happy tonight. So you can see this is already looking pretty moose-like. Hasn't even refrigerated to set up a little bit. I'll give this another blend though. I do not bun buns. Unfortunately. Yeah, it sounds like a 90s cartoon. Innuendo Central. Darn it. That isn't the strainer I wanted anyways. But we want that minus the flour and water. Batzel. Let me get this to a strainer first before I do that battle here real quick. And all I'm doing here is really making sure that the skins and stuff from the beans has all been pureed enough that it's nice and smooth, which you can see there is a little bit. If you're doing a whole bunch of this, feel free to throw all this right back into the blender and keep working at it until it blends smooth, but I'm just going to live with this a little bit. We'll let that drain off for a couple minutes while we do our battle. Looks like most everyone's at the bottom here, so I'm going to give them the haste. Though thank you to the few up top there, setting up stuff to defend us from the back. Victory. Couple of quick, easy ones tonight. All right. tree bow with our kills. Shady Cat with the sis. It's a cute name. Let's see here. Honorable mention to Degen. Catalina and Treebow getting those rewards, though. On to the boss. I'm going to go with Flag Bearer in the center here. Actually, I take that back. I want to put it off to the right side. We'll see what we get here in 30 minutes. It looks like we got an interesting map here. I decided that going up here would both help rogues and get all these chests real nice and easy and quick without all dying real quick. But it makes them all come after us, so maybe I can put a damage thingy up here. We'll see. Let's see what we get in 30 minutes. Okay. We have our moose here pretty much ready to go. There is a decent amount still stuck down to the bottom of this, so. Now I want to try this just to see how this works. I have not tried this first off with black bean aquafaba, but not with chickpea either. So we're going to try and see if we can't get ourselves a little bit of a moose going here. Alright, we're collecting some air there, but not enough that I really wanted. It's definitely lightened in color. And it's definitely picked up some volume. It's not picking up enough volume quick enough for me, I don't think. But that is certainly, I mean, something you can do, especially with the... I included the aquafaba from the garbanzos, or from the chickpeas, in the bread that's proofing back there. But I was debating the idea of trying to fold a little bit in with that to even lighten this up even more. But I think we got a pretty nice looking moose here. So I'm going to try and chill this in a couple of dishes. Or do I want to use something else for these? Well, I could also pull out the immersion blender that I have under the sink there, or I could do it in that blender over there. They'll work perfectly fine for that too. Yeah, that one can be, yeah. But from whatever I hear, everyone that I've read about it with that, it's always garbanzo or chickpea. Really, I always, because the name pavlova, I always associated pavlova as being maybe. I probably knew and studied at some point what a pavlova is, but that has long gone from my memory, and so the name pavlova just seems Russian to me. Aquafaba is uh, a trademark term from someone I think out of Wisconsin, maybe Mississippi, for bean water. That's what it translates to, anyways. And yeah, it can be a good substitute for egg white in a lot of vegan type dishes. So I'm going to give these a wrap in plastic wrap and allow these to chill in the fridge. And I am for sure saying egg whites, not heavy cream. It's not. It's going to be like a meringue. It's not going to be like uh, whipped cream. More like whipped air. Yeah, it's been a minute actually since I think I've seen poblanos in the stores around here. I was planning on buying oyster mushrooms for tonight's recipe, and I haven't been able to find oyster mushrooms locally here lately either. Like, we have all sorts of mushrooms. We have all sorts of locally grown mushrooms. It just seems like either they've all decided that they shouldn't be growing oysters, or they decide they're going to make more money off of maitakes, which is what I see most people stocking instead of. So now we start prepping. Actually, do I start on this or do we start with this? That's looking pretty happy. I think this is ready to go into its second container here. So I'm going to hold off on the mushrooms with their broken veils. These old mushrooms. And I think I'm actually going to go for, see if this will work in a loaf pan tonight. Not that loaf pan, though. That's why that loaf pan's over there. That loaf pan's a little nasty. I would normally use butter here, but we'll use olive oil tonight. I wasn't really feeling bad yesterday. I didn't have any energy and I didn't get things done, and I wasn't going to be ready in time, and so I told you ahead of time I wasn't going to be here. But at the same time, I hate doing that because, I mean, I wasn't ready for last night, but it wasn't like I wasn't just hanging out around home. It was, I didn't have time to be ready for you. So now we're going to let this proof a second time in this pan. Now that we got that set, that's going to hang out like that for a little while. And we'll go back to making stuff for our main course tonight. I'm going to pull the veils out of these because they had opened. A lot of people remove the veils on a normal basis. I normally don't bother. Maybe if it's portobello's. But, yeah. They don't exactly have the cleanest stuff inside of them. And I have a pretty good idea where these were raised, so I'm not too worried about them, but if you're getting them from somewhere that's dirty and nasty, kind of cheese I forgot about, but I can't eat because dairy. Ooh. It's been quite a while since I had some antibiotics. The last time I had antibiotics, I went ham on the yogurt immediately after. It's like, alright, I killed everything in my stomach, let's rebuild it. set this over here. Decent amount of oil. Mushrooms are going to soak a lot of that up. Actually, going to soak all of that up. And more, because we're going to have to do a couple of different cookings to get these all nicely seared. But I'm happy. We got our bread proofing nicely. We've got the mousse done and in the fridge chilling. We're doing well as far as timeline tonight. I'm going to finish off my coffee. Get myself some water. I don't know what it is, but something's burning with that burner, and it smells good. We want color on our mushrooms. We don't want them burnt. We want them brown. Beautiful like those. I'm just taking these off, putting them on a plate off to the side before they go back into the mix a bit later. Heat back on. More shrooms. Sorry if anyone's chatting away and I haven't been paying attention. Just been focusing in on my shrooms. Oof. Well, don't do that. It's not good when you whack your knee on your desk, Bun Buns. I don't want that. That doesn't get you to put more units on the battlefield for Stream Raiders within the last 4 minutes. No, I thought it was 22 ounces to freedom. not 20 minutes. Sorry, that's another 90s joke. Or was that the 2000s? I think it was the 90s. It was probably 40 ounces, considering it was Sublime. And I'm just remembering it wrong. Bit more oil in that pan for our last, hopefully, installment of mushrooms. I've heard about guys having, well, no, I haven't, Bun Buns. Let's just leave it there. I'm being lazy with my last installment of mushrooms here, if you haven't caught on. Bun Buns with all the dad jokes tonight. Mm-hmm. Battle. It's time to go to war. But I still have mushrooms to cook. To war. Here's hoping most of it comes to us, doesn't stand still. Everything stands still then. And it's taken a while. It's not usually a great sign. We get this? I had to take the mushrooms off the pan. Uh-oh, this ain't looking good. We got this? You gonna save us, Catalina? Uh-oh. Boo. We're going to try that once more. And I'm going to try it the same way. Except we're going to add assassins there and assassins there. And I'm going to use haste this time. So the rogues here and there are more to dissuade people from coming after us underneath those paths. And that way we do most of our fighting, hopefully, up here. Let's see what else we got going on here in the world of Stream Raiders tonight. Ooh, I need to place warriors. You got our quests. Let's take a look at the store. No free goodies in the store right now, so I am not spending a lot of cash on this rest of this stuff. That is tempting, though. I'm not going to do that, though. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Trying to get into 30. We're at 28. We'll see what we do here in 30 minutes. I'm going to go back to cooking other good stuff. I'm going to start by chopping up some sun-dried tomatoes. Ooh, these are already chopped. I didn't look at these before I picked them up. Nice. So I don't even have to bother chopping these early. So we'll go on to cutting some onion. Yay! Work's done. Back to food. I'm going to take that layer off too. I wanted to save it, but it's a little too leathery up top. See if it's the same over here. Yeah, it's the same over here. Too leathery up there. Nice. Well, I'm glad you're off work, Fluffy. Feels weird calling you Fluffy, because there was someone that was always in Mixer streams named Fluffy before I was on Twitch. I don't know if that person's still around. I don't think I've seen him in my stream since Mixer went bye-bye. Mixer is was essentially the same thing as Twitch. They were different, but they were both streaming platforms. Just like Twitch used to be Justin TV, Mixer used to be Beam, and then was bought by Microsoft, and was going to be the equivalent of Twitch, but Microsoft's version. And they had it for about a year. They signed a bunch of big names, which sort of got my interest to go over there because they were big names and they were spending money. But they were spending money on all the wrong stuff as far as a streaming platform. And Microsoft decided to write it off as taxes, I think, and shut it down. But I spent about a year streaming on there before that happened. Before coming to Twitch. Most of what was Mixer moved actually to Facebook. Facebook actually did a buddy deal or paid Microsoft something for, and if you go to mixer.com now, it goes to Facebook. But I had zero interest in being on Facebook. Facebook for gamers is a lot better than it is for IRL or other types of streamers. Because essentially you have to create a page There's like no discoverability for, like, in order to find someone who's doing food and cooking on Facebook, you have to have no names, or stumble across their page somehow. It's not like there's a food and drink section to Facebook streaming. It's all gaming. And so actually I could probably be a Facebook partner. Actually, I was told that I could. I just didn't really. I didn't want to be on Facebook. I still don't. Yeah, next month. Gonna be 3 years. Middle of next month. Thanks, Bun Buns. Even more fun changes and updates to the stream for that when that comes around here next month. This is a nice tomato for what I was hoping it would be like. I was hoping for an almost paste-like tomato. So like aroma, rather. Not exactly a dry tomato, but it cuts sort of dry because it holds a lot of its moisture well. They're great for sauce. They're great for year-round availability. Flavor-wise, they're not the greatest. But consistency... Oh, yeah. Oh, I wish I could find the seeds that I had and I grew one year. I grew a Beef Master tomato plant that was just gorgeous a couple of years past. This is, I say couple of years past, it's probably 7 years ago now. Just a beautiful, I was getting like 2 pounders off of that plant. Like ridiculously huge tomatoes. I am a fan of Beefmasters. Or any along that line. That family. Great big tomatoes that are often very juicy. Great for burgers and stuff like that. Burgers and sandwiches and just bursting with juice. And I mean, there's heirlooms that I've had that have been like light years better as far as flavor and stuff like that. But yeah, those are a good sandwich. Like, you want a nice just sandwich tomato, nothing like you just want a tomato. Like, you don't want it to stand out differently or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, you have the early girls, which are your early season, like standard tomato, standard slicer tomato, I think. Those are basically the three for me. You know, you need some sort of nice, good paste tomato. I wouldn't probably grow Romas myself, but something in the family of this or that. A beef eater or a beef master or yeah, nice big boys, but they come late in the season. And early girls to get you early fix. Because they come up really early. Hence the name. Okay, what else do we need to set up for our meal so far? What am I forgetting that I was going to throw into this? What am I forgetting that I was going to throw into this? We got our mushroom set. Onion, garlic, tomatoes, beans. I'm skipping that. Also, if you're in America, never buy tomatoes on the vine. Unless they're like your best option at the store. Because the definition for tomatoes grown on the vine, when they're harvested, they only have to be 10% red. So you can have an entire bunch of tomatoes that are 90% green, and they're picked and they're ready to serve. And they're going to use ethylene gas to turn them red for you at the store. And they'll be hard as a rock. Yeah, I found all sorts of lovely things like that, like dyed green onions. Wow, this is looking happy back here. That's looking pretty. And last thing here, we're going to drain off our beans before we get cooking with everything. I'm going to start turning that oven on so it's nice hot temp for our bread. I really want to put an egg wash on top of this, but we're going to avoid that tonight. Almond milk? You want an almond milk? I was actually dithering on that. Okay, we can do an almond milk top to it. I never use these glasses because they're off in the corner of the storage. It might be. I think we hit a 6 though this week. I was looking at it earlier, but it's been a day or two. But that reminds me, why don't we do that right now while that oven's heating up anyways? We got another 7 minutes on our next battle. Let's see here. Our next one is going to be on the 15th. Make sure that isn't. That's probably going to be our last one here. Yeah, the 22nd, I think. Be starting on my break. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm definitely on my break on the 22nd. So this is going to be our last vote for a bit. Let's see here. tofu and Papa John's. We got any sixes? I thought we had a six. No sixes. So it's Papa John's versus tofu. And as usual, just go ahead and vote for your favorite by adding your reaction to tofu or Papa John's with a mighty quick lead there. We'll have to see how this turns out. I actually had a cool idea for tofu if we do tofu, though, too. We'll see. And so that'll run until Monday, and I'll close that off, and that's what I'll have to do next Wednesday, pending I don't be too lazy and too late and can't make it. But that's the plan. Nice, Catalina. I think right now, mostly what I'm waiting on is for that oven to be up to temp, because this be rising like a madman. And, yeah. Nice, Catalina. That was a nice crack in my back there. Ooh. I sort of anticipated you would just vote for tofu to begin with. Like, I mean, I know pizza is pizza, but I thought tofu was yours. Actually, wasn't your addition? It was. I'm gonna delete it now. It's made it to the big vote. It can go from the ingredient list, suggestion list. That's fine. I've actually been really enjoying Vegan Week so far. I mean, I wouldn't want to make it a permanent thing in my life. I like meat way too much. But it's been a nice break. Jiggle jiggle. New emotes on July 1st. 3 new emotes. If you want to see what they look like, they're in the Discord. I know that was sort of random. Yeah, that bread has been proofing nicely. It seems to like those garbanzo beans. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way they turned out, too. Whose are those? Are those that, yeah. Awesome, Catalina. Let's go with haste this time. See how that works out. Ooh, that just took out those rogues. Wow. What are these things that Bryce Lucio has so many of? Ooh, they're all tanks. Nice. That should help us out. Grab a sheet pan and some parchment while that finishes up. Think we got it this time. Think we got it. Victory. Bryce Lucio and Catalina getting us our kills and assists there. Honorable mention to Pursuin for the kills. Catalina getting the scrolls. Boss defeated. Rawr. Hi, Evangeline. I'm thinking golden and blue this time. Green looks like a lot of extra maps. Mine just beeped. But I know how it feels. I'm going to start over here. We're going to do a square of join me over here. And stay away. Okay, back to figuring out bread. Let's start with our almond milk, almond nut juice topping on our well-proofed bread, our well-proofed garbanzo bean bread. Dumplings? Who's got dumplings? We'll give that a slice since I'm thinking about it. And throw that in the oven. Okay, so I want to change that. I was trying to figure out how much time I wanted to cook this. I'm going to give this a good 10 minutes just to give it a good initial sear at 400. I'm going to drop it down to 350 and then give it another 20 to 30. Welcome in, Droid Insanity. No, this is almond juice. Or almond milk, if you have to call it that. I hate that term. Show me what on an almond you milk. Welcome in, Droid. We're doing vegan food all this week. Thanks to Fluffy Bun Buns. This is actually the second to last night. And I'm also doing everything with beans tonight because it's in one of my weekly ingredient challenges. So we have bread that I just threw in the oven with garbanzo beans in the bread mix. We've got a chocolate mousse that's setting up in the refrigerator that was made using black beans. And I'm just sort of getting started with the dinner itself, which is going to be a white bean skillet with veggies galore. Should be good. Mostly just debating at one point, do I start finishing up this dish? I think we're probably okay to get started, though. The major concern is getting that bread ready in time. We got a flame underneath our cast iron that we used with the mushrooms already. And we're going to saute up some garlic and onions. Since we're adding a bunch more in here, we'll add a little bit more oil. Not nearly as much as I was using with the mushrooms. Mostly just want to get the pan coated with this. Give this a moment to get up to a nice full heat. You can already see the sort of star pattern going on there from the where the lines are on the This is a mighty big onion. Some hop water. Is it bunny water? Hop water. So now you had some time to process it. What'd you think of the yerba mate I got you to try the other night? Not trying to really pump names, but you said you liked it the first time. Sort of curious after worth the money? This is why you remember to cut the core off of the onion so it actually separates when you cook it. That smells good. We're going to hit that with some onions, and that onion with some salt and pepper. And then to give it extra time for them to soften up and flavor everything, we're going to add the sun-dried tomatoes in here next. About half of that package. Uh-oh, Evangeline, that doesn't sound like a score. That sounds like someone fooled you. Would they bait and switch you with? Yeah, that's a good question, Bun Buns. Like, yeah, I think you can get it cheaper than that, though, but I wouldn't have paid $4 for that, but everything is going up in price, too. I think I was paying something like $2.30 or something like that for a can. For a tall boy can. take that down to a temp where it'll maintain the temperature of the pan nicely, but I'm not worried about it getting too hot and burning stuff. So you ended up with a lot of flank steak, or what? Did he overbought because it was cheap? I forget things without it. Tomatoes are already starting to dye these a little bit. Sort of cool. £10, no problem. That's what, 2 weeks? Not even. Family of 2? I don't even know how many people are in your household. I know you got a kid or 2 to feed too. Well, I guess you're eating lots of flank steak, unless you feel like freezing it. Pinwheels are so good. I've only done those once or twice. That's our timer for our bread telling us it's time to knock it down in temp. We're going to give that another 20 minutes. And I'm going to open that door to help lower that temp real quick. Just for a moment. Pinwheels flank steaks are a big flat steak. And they're typically not very tender. They're only really tender if you cut them in the right direction. So, and typically the green is going this way, even though it's a large piece this way. So you can smear, in the case of what she's suggesting there, some cream cheese, some spinach, some bok choy, some other veggies that you're choosing, maybe some sun-dried tomatoes. And then you roll it, tie it together, and then cook it as a roast. And then you can slice it in the direction that makes it tender, because it's been rolled up in the opposite direction. Well, with all the goodies in the center. They're a little bit harder to do, though, because you have to cook them like it. The thing with meat, for safe cooking, you want to get the outside of the meat at least to 155. That's U.S. standards, government standards for safety. If you go ahead and take that inside and then roll it, it's going to get a lot harder to get that center piece to 155. And so it's going to be one that you're going to have to cook to the higher end, to almost a well done, fully through piece, because otherwise you're not going to get that center of it to 155, though. Unless you play games like pre-searing it before you roast it. So now I'm going to add all those paste-like tomatoes in there. I'm going to add a little freeze-dried thyme. That's oregano, not thyme. Thyme. What are you looking at, camera? Over here. Go ahead and add our previously sauteed mushrooms in there. Silly cat. I'm over here. A little MSG. Seaweed extract. Bit more pepper. I'll let that bread cook for another 14 minutes here. What does that do? Were you speaking of the MSG? This is already a pretty heavily MSG laden dish for anyone that's not realizing that already. We already got the tomatoes. Tomatoes have MSG naturally in them. We have mushrooms, which have MSG in them. And then what I was adding was Ajinomoto, which is straight chemically MSG, but it comes from seaweed, so it's vegan. Was the major reason I was pointing that out. We got any liquids in this recipe that I could add into this? Not much. What can I add to this to add some simmering liquid? I think I'm just going to add some water. And the plan is to cook most of that water I just put in there off. But we got another 10 minutes of bread baking. And I haven't even started heating up the beans. So this has got to cook a little bit longer. The longer it cooks slowly, the more those flavors will meld, the better it'll be. Sorry for your rush. Go ahead and add your beans now. But I'm going to hold off a little bit. What can I do in the meantime? I need to cut some parsley. If I can find where I hid the parsley. Underneath the eggs. In the back corner. Underneath the broccoli. It's just hiding up there in that top corner with all the other fresh produce. Well, Catalina, they are the original and the claim to fame and the only ones that have, well, the ones that have done all the science behind it, too. They've actually determined that there's actually a even more powerful version of umami in our taste, but the majority of people can't distinguish it as being different or a separate taste because really only people with a very strict, very high seafood diet seem to be able to detect it. But apparently there's an even more powerful version of umami out there. Thank you for that, Fowl. So like one of those things that only super tasters, which is actually a thing. There's a percentage of people with an abnormally large amount of taste buds, known as super tasters. It's a genetic thing, I think. But it doesn't exist. But there's apparently super tasters for umami too. I'm happy with that. That'll work. This is all looking happy, simmering away back here. Yeah, that's not milk. Yuck. That looks, what are we looking at? You talking about the skillet? Our bean skillet? Our white bean skillet? I don't know, this is going to be my dinner tonight, but this could also be a great appetizer for folks. Just, you could actually take that and blend that down into a beautiful, like, sauce, and then toss it with some nice beans and the other garnishes. And hey, I forgot. I got something else green to put into this tonight. California ground. To war. Tree bow with the giant snowman. Victory. Eshlu and Catalina getting us kills and assists. Catalina getting that reward. Do we do one more? We might finish this last one off stream, but we're going to start one more. In fact, there's probably a good chance we're going to finish this last battle off stream. I'm going to put a warrior out there, because I need to put warriors out there. I'm going to put them right in the center. No, I'm going to put them down left. Bottom left. Like I normally do. And we'll see what we get in 30 minutes. You may not see it on stream, though. Let's take a look at this bread. I think I'm going to give that another couple minutes. But I am going to fold in our beans and olives into our mixture on the stove now. Nope. The bread basically stayed the same, maybe sunk a little bit actually, as it baked. It didn't have a whole lot to cause more moisture. I mean, if it didn't have a ton of moisture trapped in there, it didn't have anything creating more. And so now that we got these softly cooked beans, I'm going to try and be a little bit more gentle with how I move this around. Because I don't want to break all of those beans up, but we do want to stir them in. Make sure we still got somewhat of flame. Not really. There we go. I wanted to add... It's okay that it didn't do that, because I figured that it actually potentially overproofed. Like, I might have underdid the first proof, but once I did the second proof in the pan, I think the second proof I overproofed it. The first proof I didn't proof it enough. And it would have been better if I'd done that. But I also didn't add any chemical leaveners in there. And I can see the garbanzo bean being heavier on and retaining more liquid. I don't know. It gets too nitpicky in the science, I guess, at that point. But there's nothing new creating new gases in there other than what moisture was there. And the moisture wasn't enough to counteract the weight of it. Did get some very nice light browning on the outside of it, but want more. Not enough. We're looking pretty good, though. I need the thermometer to test this when it comes out, though, because I want to proof this one. Make sure the center of this is cooked. And give that another minute. If only because that's what I set the timer to. There's no real method to my madness at this point. Sort of funny when my earbud gets sort of like half dislodged in my ear. The first thing that goes is all of the bass, which is unusual because usually bass is the thing that like carries and lasts the longest. Like the deep, heavy sounds can't travel further, typically. It's like the first thing I lose in my earbud is those heavy bass tones in the music. Alright, I'm going to take this out and temp it. I think we're there. Okay, we're good. Slightly over, actually. But we're doing pretty good. We're within 10 degrees of where we really wanted this. As far as bread. So we'll let that cool now. Not quite as brown as I would have liked, but not bad. Better than not adding the almond nut juice on it. We'll set that off to the side for a minute to cool. Probably not too different than hummus. I mean, I didn't add any lemon or garlic in there, but the rest of the garbanzo flavor should be there. Okay, it's pulling away from the sides nicely now. Give it a... Let's see if we can flip that over. maybe a bit premature, but we want to eat. Oh, that turned right out. Nice. Get that flip back over, though. Do have some nice golden sides to that, though. So we got some good color on the sides of that. We got some nice lift from it. It just didn't really rise anymore once it was in the oven. This was frankly a little bit of a rip-off of my dinner rolls. Essentially what I did for my ratio here was I did my dinner rolls, but I did them with about an extra 3/4 cup of flour. And then I added the extra flour when I was kneading it to get it to moisture level that I sort of wanted it and was comfortable with. And then I just added the beans into it. We're back to that old thing with Twitch's dashboard is never loaded up properly for me in Chrome, which is sort of strange since Chrome is apparently what everyone uses these days. I personally still prefer Firefox for the majority of my stuff. But as far as I use Chrome my streaming PC, and it just never loads right. Like half the time it loads with half of the bar on the top of it like cut in half. Like it loads like 20 pixels too low. Cuts everything off. And it's done that for me like since I started with Twitch. It stopped for a little while there, but it's back to doing it again. It's like I can't see the last like half top inch of the screen of their webpage. Cheeseaholics, this dish is calling you. Like, little melty cheese in there. Pour a little bechamel over the top. Oh. Sorry to the vegans in chat. I'm just not one of you. We need wiggle time emote. Or dancing chef emote that everyone else is calling it. We lift upable. Not quite ready for this loveliness yet. We'll reuse this and use it to pull our avocado out. Well, no, it got a pretty good rise to it. It does feel like it perhaps didn't rise evenly. Like there may be a heavy bottom to it, but no, there's certainly bubbles there. We'll see when I cut into it how even it is, which I will be doing on stream. We gotta have bread with our skillet. We gotta give that a good. Maybe we will have time for our last battle here. Because I want to give that another 5-10 minutes to sit there and chill out. Not much else to add over here. We just got our greenage to add in here. We got our parsley and our avocado for on top. Other alternatives for those that are not vegan. Little drizzle of sour cream over the top of that. We're almost there, Bun Buns. I'm gonna cut the bread first. Let's see what we got for bread here. I'm gonna break into it early just so we can wrap things up. Quit sleeping all day. It's making it so you can't sleep at night. Stop that. That's looking like a nice, soft, fluffy bread there. Actually, we'll do a little of this action. Try and trap some of that steam with what crust we do have. And we're going to come over here with our skillet. You wanted to see the end and bottom of that. So we'll start with the parsley here. Again, not trying to crush those beans, but I am trying to get things mixed. And then avocado. So there is dinner. Give you an idea of what we're after here. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to take this off of the board here. Turn the flame off. Turn the oven off. It's not too shabby. Bread needs to cool down because it's falling apart, but that is quite delicious. Reuse the same plate from earlier. Now for our mousse. It's not 100% set up. It can definitely chill a bit longer. If you have some option, I don't really have a great option for a vegan whipped cream. But if you have some form of whipped cream that you can use with that, that would be amazing. Otherwise, the other thing I'm going to suggest you add in with that are some cocoa nibs. I'm not going to actually throw them on top right now. But if you can buy cocoa nibs, which are just the dried fermented part to making chocolate. It just hasn't been ground and properly emulsified with cocoa butter. And so I'm going to add some of those when I go to finish this. And I'm going to cheat and add some real whipped cream on there, but some sort of whipped topping. And yeah, that's going to be yummy. I was worried it wasn't even going to set up as much as this. I think this will actually set up that I can try it later tonight. Actually enjoy that dessert tonight. We got 2 minutes until our next and last Stream Raiders of the evening. I decided that all of this needs a bit more salt over the top of it. This bread is awesome, and the topping is awesome. I don't know that they're going to go great together. This is, I think, a too bit of a soft bread. Maybe as it dries out and cools down. But right now it's feeling way too soft for this project. You can see here it's just sort of falling apart on me as I eat it with the weight of the ingredients. And it doesn't have a bit of a chickpea flavor to it. I can tell that the beans are in this bread. Then again, maybe the white beans that are part of the skillet too, but I guess the best way to say it's got that similar like drying effect to your mouth that beans do. It's sort of like a combination of coating your mouth / like drying your mouth that beans tend to do. Not trying to describe that as it's beans, but it's just how I think of beans. Last battle of the evening. Last battle. Let's go to war. Let's get a win to finish out the night. Nice. Good strong finish to the evening here. Catalina getting those assists. Bun Buns and Catalina getting that goal, though. Congrats to you. Excuse me. Already getting the hiccups. And we'll continue on there tomorrow night. Friday night. When we're going to wrap up Vegan Week and do some stir fry. We also got more fun coming next week, even though I haven't planned it out. I'm just loving the idea that I don't have anything scheduled. It's been a month and a half, 2 months here where I've had everything planned. So I hope you come back to join me on Friday for stir fry. What are you doing, camera? Where are you going? Yes, anything goes. And that's mostly because we haven't had more redemptions of the theme week. I do know we have a ton of people out there, but maybe people choose to save their sprinkles for other things. Let's see who's out there in the world of Twitch tonight. I know, Catalina. You're catching up quick, though. We've gained at least 1,000 since we started this. Maybe right when I get back. I'm guessing it's probably going to be about the beginning of next month you'll be able to do one. They're your points. So I have picked out a raid target for tonight. I hope you guys all have fun this evening. I enjoyed cooking with y'all. I hope to see you back here tomorrow night. I'm going to send all you lovely folks to go hang out with Jay Hobo. I've raided him a couple of times in somewhat recent memory. He's a cool dude. He spends his time on stream carving coins. Making fun and interesting designs on coins. He's got some games going on, guessing games going on in chat, and a lovely bird you can harass. So I hope you have fun doing that. And I hope to see you back again. I hope you enjoyed beans. I hope you vote for next week's challenge, whether it's tofu or Papa John's. And good night. Bye-bye now.